Alright guys, so I welcome you to another interesting class in our Adobe Photoshop CC beginner to advanced class. And my name is Rafi Yakub. I'm reaching you live from Lagos State, Nigeria. And in today's class, I'm going to walk you through step by step on how you can master your gradient tools in Adobe Photoshop. So what is gradient tools? When you're talking about gradient tools in Adobe Photoshop, is a process of combining 2 to 3 color or more in a single layer. So for instance, if you are trying to make some design, so you want to use like a 2 color, and you are trying to apply the color on a single shape or on a single text, so whatever that type of function is regarded as a gradient tools option in Adobe Photoshop. So how do we work around with gradient tools, and how do we try to combine color in a very cool way that will make our design very much attractive in Adobe Photoshop? So let's get to the practical start right away. So now all you have to do first, let's say for instance we are trying to make use of, let's try to make use of shape. So we'll go to my toolbar right here. I will right click on this point here. Then I will choose, let me choose rectangle. Now, if I draw a rectangle like this, so if I draw a rectangle like this, definitely I have a single color, right? Now, in aspect of using gradients, so you have to come here. So now let me drag this to the center. Okay, so you have to come to your layer panel. I believe we all understand what is meant by layer panel now. So you right click on the layer panel. So when you right click on the layer panel, you look for blending options. So you have to select your blending option before you can make use of gradient panel. Though there are some other way which I'm going to show you, but in most cases we make use of this a lot. So now you can come here, and from this option here, all you have to do is to select gradient overlay. Now when you select gradient overlay, the one you are seeing currently on the screen is a default one. So you can create your custom gradients, which is what I'm going to show you right now. So you have to, let me zoom the camera. So you select your gradient from the gradient palette. So Photoshop has a lot of default gradients, and some are custom. So in some cases, if you open your Photoshop, you don't have a lot of gradient like this. The more reason why is that you have not saved some custom gradient. So in this regard, I'm going to show you how you save your custom gradient and use it for a future or next design, right? So now in this regard, I'm going to change this gradient. So to work with gradient, you have to come to the gradient slider. When you double click on this, it's going to open up in another window. So let's say I'm going to move from this type of blue right here, and I'll click on OK. So I'm trying to, then you come to the another gradient color here. When you double click here, this is going to pump up. So in this case, I'm going to try to combine blue with this type of purple. I'm going to click on OK. All right, so now, so you can see now you have to click on OK again. Now, for us to have this in a very cool manner, so you have to come here, turn off the reverse. So you turn off the reverse, that is when you can see the whole stuff. Then I can drag like this to control the gradient, or better still, you can come to the degree of the gradient here. So in this regard, I'm going to type 180 degree. So let's see the result. So you can see the result here that the movement of the gradient is from purple into blue. So this is how gradient works. So you can continue to drag your gradient. This is depends on how you want to achieve your gradient. So now let's say we want to change the gradient style. So this is where you control the style. You click on here. You want to change it to radial. So radial is going to appear straight away. So you can see the radial effect. So let's say we don't want a radial effect, we want angle effect. So you select it here. So you're going to have, look at it. So now let me go back to linear right now. So for us to make use of these gradients in the future design, you have to come back here to the gradient palette here. Now, sorry, I have to click on this. So now you have to come here and click on new. So when you click on new, you notice that it's going to appear right here. Now you click on OK. And you come here and click on OK. Now we have this gradient saved in our Adobe Photoshop. You can as well as save as many possible gradients in your Adobe Photoshop. So all you have to do now, let's say we want to make use of this gradient right here for another design. So you can come to the tools bar. Let me select text tools now. Then I will make a type. So type. And I'll press Ctrl A to highlight. Then I'll increase the font size. Right, so I'm going to fill this particular text with this gradient. So what I'm going to do is to come back here. I will right click. Then I'll go to blending option. Then I will select gradient overlay. Then I'll click on here. So we can select this first. Okay, let's say we select this and click on OK and click on OK. So you can see this is good effect. Now I will right click now, blending option. Gradient overlay. Now click on the slider, the picker. Then I will now select this. Then I click on OK and OK. Look at it. So you can see that the gradient is the same, look the same way with the shape and the text. So this is how you walk around with your gradient palette and how you can save your custom gradient for a future design. So now let's see how we can use your gradient, how you can pick gradient in another way around. So now I will select another shape here. Right click. I will choose polygon now. Then I will draw, okay, I'll draw another polygon right here. So let me just draw this type of polygon. Now, from the home tab here, you can click on this color fill. Here you have gradients. Then you can scroll down and choose your gradients. So now I'm going to use our custom saved gradients. I'm going to use this. You can see. Now let's say you want to control the scale. You can come here, make the scale less than 100% or increase by 100%. You can control the scale. So you can see the more we control the scale, the more the gradient purple blend with the shape style. Then you can come here and move the slider, something like this. and click on OK. So we have this very cool also. Now, how do you combine multiple color on a single shape or on a single text using your gradient in Adobe Photoshop? That's going to be the next practical I'm going to show you right away. Then you have to come down below here and make a new layer. So when you make a new layer, and I will come to my toolbar right here, I will right click here, and now I will use let me use rectangle. Then I will make a small rectangle like this. Now I have to come here, I will right click now, blending options. So here, we have to come here and choose gradient overlay. Then we select our gradient palette. Now we want to add more gradient slider into the color line. So now we can come here, you can drag from any angle. Let's say I'm dragging from this side. Now you notice that when you move your mouse here, it's going to turn to another thing. Just click once, you're going to add a new slider. Now this new slider, if you double click here and try to pick another color, let's say I'm picking something dark, and I click on OK. So I come back here and try to make it look this way. Then I'll come here, so I will double click to create another slider, and I'll pick the color. Let's say this time I'm picking this type of color. Click on OK. Now we can control the color. So this depends on the number of color you are trying to combine on a single shape or on a single text. So now when you are done with your combination of color, now we have about 4 color on a single layer. We have purple, we have orange, and we have dark purple, and we have blue, right? So you have to come here and click on new. So it's going to automatically save right here. And this is the secret on how I save all the gradients you are seeing on the screen right here. So this is how I got everything. Then you click on OK and OK. So this particular one here, you can still make use of it in the future design, just like how we did the previous example we have done so far in our Adobe Photoshop gradient practical class. So I hope you guys learn 1 or 2 things in this video. If you like this video, so please stay tuned for the next video, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.